So yeah, I don't feel black enough. And I never have felt black enough if I'm being honest with you guys. If you're a black male, you're expected to be the following: funny, nonchalant, cool, expected to have a swagger, exceptionally handsome, and last but not least, you're expected to use slang. I don't know how funny I am because apparently my sense of humor is different than most people's. When I say jokes in my friend group, I get what I interpret to be mostly pity laughs. As in, they didn't really think the joke was funny, but they don't want me to feel terrible because of the awkward silence, so they just fake laugh. I'm not a nonchalant person because I'm often anxious to express myself. I can't stand the idea of keeping something on my mind and not saying it. I'm not considered exceptionally cool because I'm not very nonchalant. I don't have much of a swagger because I used to, but I stopped because it felt forced and almost a bit narcissistic. Even though other people couldn't see through it, I could, and I found it to be cringy. I would consider myself a 5.5 to a 6 out of 10 in terms of looks, depending on my haircut, which isn't exceptional. And lastly, I speak in a way that most people would consider to be polite and proper, which is an extreme deviation from the AAVE and Ebonics norm within the black community. I just don't fit in with these stereotypes. And while people on the outside of the community would consider that to be an amazing thing, the in group doesn't exactly give you any props for not fitting into the mold. In fact, they shame you for it. My own dad told me that I talk white because I was using proper English one day, and comments like this have made me feel rejected about my entire life. I don't know where to fit in. I saw a video where this light skinned girl was talking about how she's too white for her black counterparts, but too black for her white counterparts, and that's me to a T. I felt like I was too proper to hang around the thugs and hooligans all throughout middle school and high school, but too urban for the kids who were white. Many of the black kids were knuckleheads up to no good, headed down the wrong route, and many of the white kids were too privileged to relate to some of my nuanced takes and unique perspective that I bring to the table. So it was just a mixed bag of rejection, pretty much. You couldn't go to the left because you didn't fit in all the way, and the right side wasn't any better. My brothers used to call me a nerd because I spoke with a manner of intelligence. They made fun of me for getting good grades and being smart. I didn't feel accepted in middle school because I was one of the few black kids who wasn't from the projects in both of the middle schools I went to. My dad, as I mentioned earlier, told me I talk white. I was recently told by a girl I was in the talking stage with that I don't sound like I have enough seasoning in my voice. Needless to say, I ended up breaking off the engagement with her. There were so many scars and they cut deeper and deeper each time I got a new one. I was left with a big gash and I had nothing to cover it with. I felt like I had to be somebody else in order to be accepted. And this is going to be the part where I give off a rant because I'm so sick and tired of those people who are black that feel like they get to decide who's black enough and who isn't. Like the people who make the smart little comments like, oh, that's not black. Or, oh, you're not black if you haven't seen this movie. Or, oh, I'm going to take away your black card if you this and that. I get that it's a joke, but at the same exact time, God never assigned you the ability or the right to be able to proclaim who's black and who isn't. So it's just corny to me for anyone to feel like they have the right to just sit there and point the finger at people and be like, oh, you're not black enough, you're not this enough, you're not that enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just lame. Stay in your own lane. Do you? Why are you so worried about what other people got going on? I don't get it. The problem is that I, and maybe even you, don't know where to find your identity. You feel like you don't fit into the mold that you were born into, and it sucks. Maybe you don't dress the part. Maybe you don't talk the part. Maybe you didn't grow up in the hood. Maybe you were raised by both of your parents. Maybe it's a combination of all these things or just some of them. Forgive me for this, but I'm going to take an angle most people don't take on this thing. I'm going to give you a nuanced perspective. You don't have to worry about your blackness. You don't have to be so caught up in what other people think that you freeze up and forget to be who God made you to be. You don't have to fit in with the ways of the world. You don't have to be like everyone else. You know, in 1 John chapter 2, verse 17, it says that the world is passing away along with its desires. Imagine trying to fit into a world that's crumbling as we speak. In fact, I'll do you one better. Imagine trying to fit into the same world that crucified our Messiah. Puts things into perspective, huh? You see, trying to fit into a world where the ruler is Satan himself isn't exactly a wise thing to do. The best piece of advice I can give you on this topic is to cease to try to fit in. The longer you stay stuck in the muck of the world, the worse off you'll be. Seek Christ. Like genuinely. And let me say it again for the people in the back. Seek Christ. Seek God with all of your heart, and He'll take care of you and validate that feeling of belonging that's been missing from your heart. And then from that identity you find in Christ, you can begin to show love and patience to those who try to force you into a box and introduce them to Christ. And who knows, you might just end up helping save someone's soul. I made this channel specifically so I could speak to younger me, and that's what I intended to do in this video. I hope my message wasn't too convoluted. I was just trying to express that God's love for you trumps any level of acceptance you could receive from any community. Not to mention a community that's as confused and backwards as our community is at times. I'm talking about the Black community, by the way. While I will still probably use slang words intentionally just to fit in certain contexts and wear Jordans because I learned that that's what's cool, I won't take what people say about my identity to heart anymore. Why not? Because they're not my maker. You don't know me like God does. Nobody knows me like God does. End of story. But that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a comment if you can relate to anything mentioned within the video. Make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed, and also subscribe for more future rant videos and essay pieces. And make sure you also leave a comment telling me what your personal experience is, because I'm sure I'm not the only one who can relate. That's it for the video though. Peace.